The next day, at 8 in the morning, Su Xiao was woken up by the alarm clock on time. As soon as Su Xiao woke up, she received the second hint from Country A. In the middle of the night, the cat is eerie, its body torn apart. Woman, be careful. After reading the hint visible only to herself, Su Xiao frowned slightly. This is already the second time Country A has reminded me that the cat is dangerous. What on earth did they see last night? Could there be a woman hidden inside the ugly cat? Will she come out at night? Who could the woman be? Is she eerie or something else? There's no doubt that the woman must have posed a threat to me last night. Maybe she was standing right outside my bedroom door. Otherwise, Country A wouldn't have been so eager to remind me. Su Xiao sorted out her thoughts roughly. Although the ugly cat poses a certain threat to me, as long as I keep rebelling against those rules, the ugly cat won't be able to contaminate me. Even if the ugly cat is really part of the eerie things, it should have no way to deal with me now. Otherwise, it would have attacked me yesterday, and I wouldn't have survived until today. After careful consideration and confirming that the ugly cat posed no threat to herself, Su Xiao no longer worried about its changes. Su Xiao got out of bed and opened the locked bedroom door. When the door opened, Su Xiao saw at a glance that the ugly cat was sitting on the sofa, licking its paws. There seemed to be nothing abnormal on the surface. Su Xiao walked past the ugly cat expressionlessly and went straight into the toilet. After entering the toilet, Su Xiao found that the word death on the wall last night had really disappeared. The wall was perfect. It was as if those scratches had never appeared. Seeing this scene, Su Xiao actually had some guesses in her heart. Sure enough, there's something wrong with the ugly cat. How can a cat perfectly deal with those scratches? I just mentioned it casually yesterday. The ugly cat really cleaned up the scratches. Does this mean that this cat actually has a masochistic tendency? Sure enough, you can't be too nice to it. There might be a big pit in it. After coming out of the toilet, Su Xiao washed her hands and started preparing breakfast. The breakfast was still noodles, and what was given to the ugly cat was still cat food. While Su Xiao was enjoying her breakfast with relish, the live broadcast screens of other selected participants were dead silent. Their rooms were still dark, and it was impossible to tell whether it was day or night. The high-level officials of various countries were all stunned. What on earth is going on? Su Xiao has already started having breakfast. Why are our selected participants still sleeping? What the hell? Even Pasha from Country D has woken up. Why are the others still in bed? In the live broadcast room, many live broadcast screens seemed a bit eerie. Especially the high-level officials of various countries led by Country B, who couldn't understand the actions of their own selected participants at all. It wasn't until they found that Su Xiao and Pasha, who woke up on time, had one thing in common. That is, they both took down the wall clock and used it as an alarm clock. Because they had an alarm clock, they were able to wake up from bed on time. On the contrary, for those selected participants who didn't do this, the time on the wall, clock hanging on the wall, hadn't moved from last night until now. That is to say, for those selected participants lying in bed, it was still night now. Because in their concept, time had stopped last night. In the Strange Tale world, remembering the wrong time is fatal. If the selected participants can't clearly remember the passage of time, they will have no concept of time. Most likely, the selected participants will be trapped in the Strange Tale world all the time, and they will always feel that only one night has passed. But this isn't the most terrible thing. The most terrible thing is that the challenge time in the Strange Tale world is only 7 days. Once the time limit is exceeded, it will be automatically judged as a failure. The punishment for exceeding the time limit will be several times more cruel than normal elimination. Now, seeing that their own selected participants were still sound asleep, the high-level officials of various countries were jumping up and down in a hurry. Fuck. Rule 4 turns out to be a rule that is half right and half wrong. Hurry! Use the hint to wake up the selected participants immediately. This is a last resort method. When the outside world gives a hint to the selected participants, a prompt sound will ring in the selected participants' ears, and this prompt sound will be the key to waking them up. The high-level officials of Country B were still relatively rational and made a choice first. Seeing this, other countries also began to follow suit one after another. However, as the selected participants were woken up one by one, the 3 precious hints had all been used up so far. Now, except for Country A and Country D, which still have one last hint opportunity left, the rest of the countries have no more hint opportunities. Outside the screen, they can't do anything. They can only be onlookers. Whether it's victory or defeat, in the end, it all depends on the selected participants' own abilities. Since all countries have used their last hint, all the selected participants also understand what's going on. After breakfast, Su Xiao continued to watch TV and do nothing. The remaining selected participants began to sort out the information they had obtained. There are only 10 rules on the note left by Mom. Rule 1, whether it's day or night, don't open the curtains. Rule 2, there are frozen steaks in the fridge. You'd better eat them raw as much as possible. Never fry the steaks until they're well done. Rule 3, The bathroom can be used, but never turn on the light when using it. Rule 4. The wall clock at home will tell you the accurate time, but never use it as an alarm clock. Rule 5. Don't go out. If you hear someone knocking on the door, never open it until that person leaves. Rule 6. Take good care of the cat at home. Don't give it a name casually. Rule 7. Feed the cat noodles. Never give it cat food. Rule 8. Take the cat with you when you go to sleep at night. Never leave it alone in the living room. Rule 9. Sometimes the neighbor next door will come to visit. Open the door for him and give him the cat food. Rule 10. Never turn on the TV at home. If you feel bored, you can let the cat accompany you. So far, Rule 1, Rule 6, Rule 7, Rule 10 are correct. Rule 2 and Rule 3 are wrong. Rule 4 is half right and half wrong. As for Rule 5 and Rule 9, it can't be determined whether they are correct or wrong for the time being. But Rule 5 and Rule 9 obviously conflict with each other. Rule 5 mentions that you must never open the door, while Rule 9 asks you to open the door for the neighbor. The selected participants all noticed a very strange point in Rule 5. It doesn't mention the word neighbor. That is to say, you can't open the door for strangers, but you can open the door for neighbors. Then how can you determine that the person knocking on the door is a neighbor and not something else? These two rules seem ordinary, but the more ordinary the rules are, the more likely they are to hide a crisis. Normally, if two rules conflict with each other, then it's very likely that only one rule is correct. This is the thinking of a normal person. But the problem now is that this is the Strange Tale world. How can the rules in the Strange Tale world be judged according to normal thinking? If it were really that simple, the note from mom wouldn't have a 99% mortality rate. Most of the selected participants who survived the first day are smart. So they guess that Rule 5 and Rule 9 are probably both correct or both wrong. While the selected participants were still acting like Conan, trying hard to find a flaw in the rules, how can the rules in the Strange Tale world be judged according to normal thinking? If it were really that simple, the note from mom wouldn't have a 99% mortality rate. Most of the selected participants who survived the first day are smart. So they guess that Rule 5 and Rule 9 are probably both correct or both wrong. While the selected participants were still acting like Conan, trying hard to find a flaw in the rules. At this moment, almost simultaneously, the doorbells of the rooms where all the selected people were located rang. Suddenly, all the selected people except Su Xiao had their hearts in their throats. The sudden ringing of the bells scared them so much that they didn't even dare to breathe loudly. On Su Xiao's side, Su Xiao was watching Boonie Bears. Hearing the bell, Su Xiao directly shouted towards the door, "Who is it?" "It's me, I'm your neighbor." Outside the door, the person knocking on the door replied politely. Judging from the voice, it seemed to be a man. Hearing this extremely polite and masculine voice, Su Xiao frowned slightly. After hesitating for a while, Su Xiao still got up and walked towards the door. At this time, outside the live broadcast, the people of Country A couldn't help but hold their breath nervously when they saw Su Xiao getting ready to open the door. Su Xiao isn't really going to open the door, is he? We still can't be sure if it's really the neighbor. Now the other selected people are all pretending not to hear. Is Su Xiao going to be the first one to open the door again? Are these two rules right or wrong? No one has been able to figure it out until now. It's so frustrating. What should we do? It seems that Su Xiao is really going to open the door. If his judgment is wrong, our Country A is doomed. Don't panic. I believe in Su Xiao's judgment. Every choice of Su Xiao has surprised us, but he's still alive. Maybe it's really the neighbor outside. If it's the neighbor, opening the door should be the right choice, right? It's hard to say. What if the neighbor is also part of the weirdness? Isn't that walking into a trap? Heavenly spirits and earthly spirits. Heavenly spirits and earthly spirits. I'm willing to reduce my lifespan by 10 years to bless Su Xiao to pass the level successfully. I'll add 20 years, me too. The hearts of the people in Country A were all in knots. At this time, they couldn't help but pray for Su Xiao in their hearts. Some people even started performing rituals, hoping to change fate with their lives. With everyone in Country A feeling extremely nervous, Su Xiao finally opened the door. The door opened. There was no one outside the door. Before the people of Country A could react, a strange crawling shadow instantly attacked Su Xiao. Amid countless screams, Su Xiao's live broadcast screen went dark directly. At the moment when the screen went dark, everyone in Country A, including the senior leaders, looked up and cried. Su Xiao has been swallowed by the weirdness. The rule-based horror is about to descend. It's over. Our Country A is finished. Heaven doesn't bless our Country A. Heaven doesn't bless our Country A. Everyone in Country A instantly slumped to the ground and cried loudly. At this time, their eyes were full of despair as they quietly waited for the rule-based horror to descend. Meanwhile, so far, 2 minutes have passed since Su Xiao's live broadcast screen went black. To the disappointment of other countries and the surprise of Country A, the rule-based horror didn't descend as expected. Damn it, What's going on? Why hasn't the rule-based horde descended even though Su Xiao has been eliminated? It's a rigged game. There's a conspiracy. Country B, Country D, and several other countries were all looking forward to the rule-based horde descending on Country A. But to their surprise, what they had imagined didn't happen. The rule-based horde didn't descend. They were very angry because their wishes had been dashed. At this time, the people of Country A also didn't understand what had happened. But countless people seemed to have a telepathic connection as they stared intently at Su Xiao's live broadcast screen. They all hoped that a miracle would happen in their hearts. However, a miracle really happened the next second. After Su Xiao's live broadcast screen had been black for a full 3 minutes, it actually returned to normal. Seeing Su Xiao standing unharmed at the door, the whole of Country A couldn't help but cheer and jump for joy. When someone was just about to doubt Su Xiao's identity, Su Xiao grinned and greeted the camera. "Sorry, I was just attacked by the weirdness." The screen was also blocked by the weirdness, but it's okay now. Su Xiao's simple words made the whole of Country A boil. What? He was just attacked by the weirdness? He makes it sound so easy. That's the weirdness. How on earth did Su Xiao do it? Damn, I give full marks to this show-off. I'm not afraid he'll be proud. Listen, let the other countries listen. This is what it means to have the demeanor of a great nation. That's how calm. Su Xiao, my idol, I love you. I want to have many, many children for you. Su Xiao's faked death won the cheers of all the people in Country A. It has to be said that his words just now really brought glory to the people of Country A. In the horror world, it's the first time someone has dared to not take the weirdness seriously. While the whole of Country A was cheering, the senior leaders of Country C looked gloomy. Seeing Su Xiao standing there safe and sound, they were so angry that they almost spat out blood. Su Xiao dodged the attack of the weirdness again. This made other countries gradually realize that Su Xiao's talent was probably not as simple as it seemed. Su Xiao seemed a bit mysterious, and this mystery obviously threatened them. Inside the horror world, the knocking on the door had lasted for 10 minutes. So far, except for Su Xiao, who dared to get up and open the door, the other selected people were all huddled on the sofa, shivering. They didn't have Su Xiao's courage. However, because they didn't open the door for a long time, the knocking on the door outside had turned into ramming the door. Bang, bang. The sound of ramming the door came into the room again and again, like the call of death. Every impact made those selected people tremble all over. The ramming of the door continued without any sign of stopping. The door also didn't seem very solid and seemed to be broken into at any time. In the extreme fear and high-tension state, finally, Park Bukeng from Country E couldn't hold on anymore. He involuntarily shouted towards the door. "Who on earth are you? What do you want?" Park Bukeng's words were a bit tearful. As soon as he finished speaking, the sound of ramming the door outside immediately stopped. But just when Park Bukeng thought everything was okay, bang! It was like an axe had directly chopped on the door. The loud noise scared Park Bukeng, a grown man, to tears. He even peed himself. In the horror world, after the knocking on the door had lasted for nearly 30 minutes, there was finally no sound outside. The sound of chopping the door at Park Bukeng's place also stopped. At this moment, except for the selected people from a few big countries who could still maintain a basic level of calmness, both Richuan Gangban and Park Bukeng were extremely frightened. Richuan Gangban was a bit better. He just looked a little pale and couldn't stand up, but Park Bukeng wasn't so lucky. He couldn't stop trembling all over and kept repeating, "Abba, Abba." He even lost control of his bladder and bowels. At noon, Su Xiao happily fried a steak. After lunch, Su Xiao sat on the sofa to rest. But at this time, the same kind of knocking on the door from the morning came again. Su Xiao frowned slightly and still looked up and asked, "Who is it?" "I'm your neighbor. I want to borrow something from you." The voice outside the door still sounded normal and was as polite as in the morning. But Su Xiao was a bit speechless about this politeness. Once wasn't enough, and now it's coming again. Actually, when he was about to open the door for the first time, Su Xiao had already judged that the person outside the door wasn't the neighbor. Just think about it. How could a neighbor in the horror world speak in a normal person's tone? Only the weirdness would use a human's tone to guide people to open the door for it. Although he judged that the person outside the door wasn't the neighbor, according to Rule 5, which said not to open the door, Su Xiao had to do the opposite. Even though he knew that the thing outside the door wasn't human, Su Xiao had to open the door because only in this way could his talent work. Only during the process of being rebellious could his talent make him immune to the pollution and attack of the weirdness. This was also the reason why Su Xiao was okay after being attacked by the weirdness, because he had built an immunity. Now, hearing the knocking on the door outside again, Su Xiao got up reluctantly and then still went to open the door. But this time, the situation was a bit different from last time. There was actually nothing outside the door. Maybe the weirdness was just putting on a show. Knowing that it couldn't hurt him, it didn't even bother to attack him. Boring. Su Xiao rolled his eyes speechlessly and directly closed the door. The current weirdness was really not professional at all. I've opened the door, but it doesn't attack. It really has no professional spirit at all. Outside the live broadcast, the people of country were in awe of Su Xiao when they saw that he still dared to open the door after being attacked by the weirdness. However, soon someone raised a question. Why didn't Su Xiao encounter an attack from the weirdness this time? Here, Piao Buking. Hearing the knocking on the door ring again, Piao Buking first stood there stupidly, grinned for a while, and then walked stupidly towards the door. Under the gazes of countless pairs of eyes, Piao Buking, who had lost his mind, didn't hesitate at all and directly opened the door. Then, Piao Buking's live broadcast screen went black instantly. However, different from Su Xiao's situation, as soon as Piao Buking's live broadcast screen went black, a cold voice sounded over the globe. The selected person of Country E, Piao Buking, has been devoured by the weirdness. The world of the strange tale is about to arrive. Countdown 10, 9, 7, 6. Listening to the voice announcing the upcoming arrival of the strange tale, the people of various countries were all puzzled. Before, Su Xiao was attacked by the weirdness but remained safe, which made everyone mistakenly think that Piao Buking would be as lucky as Su Xiao, but the result was quite different. In terms of experience, big countries have much more information about the rule-based strange tales than small countries. This is also why when the selected people of big countries encounter things, they are calmer than those of small countries. Knowing more, they are naturally fearless. However, the world of the strange tale is complex and diverse, and there's more than one kind of weirdness in it. Even if big countries study these materials thoroughly, they can't guarantee that the selected people can succeed in the challenge 100%. The main reason is that the map of the strange tale world is completely random and has no rules to follow. After 2 consecutive knocking events, the surviving selected people became even more cautious. But just when they thought things couldn't happen a third time, the third knock on the door came. This time, the knocking on the door was close to evening. The sound of the knocking made the nerves of the selected people highly tense again. What's going on? There's a limit to how many times something can happen. This weirdness is really not playing by the rules. Who will it be this time? Do you think it could be that neighbor? It's possible that it's the neighbor, but whether to open the door for him is a tough decision. The people of Country A nervously stared at the live broadcast screen, not knowing how Su Xiao would handle this knocking event. But Su Xiao's way of handling it was still the same as the previous 2 times. He directly shouted at the door, "Who?" After Su Xiao's voice fell, a slightly hoarse and cold voice came from outside the door. "Neighbor, do you have cat food at home? I can exchange it with you for food." The voice outside the door was obviously different from the previous 2 times. Su Xiao frowned. He realized that this might really be the neighbor. However, he had enough food and he didn't intend to exchange the cat food with the neighbor. Just when everyone thought Su Xiao would get up to open the door, Su Xiao walked to the door. He didn't plan to open the door, but shouted outside, "My cat has eaten all the cat food. You can go. I don't lack food now." I say. See. Sorry to bother you. The neighbor was obviously stunned for a moment. After confirming that Su Xiao really wouldn't open the door, his footsteps gradually disappeared in the stairwell. After the neighbor left, Su Xiao didn't take what just happened to heart. He went back to the sofa, crossed his legs, and continued to watch Pleasant Goat. John made a completely opposite choice to Su Xiao. After careful consideration, he chose to open the door and exchange food with the neighbor. Hey, why is John okay? Does it mean that both opening and not opening the door are okay according to Rule 9? No way. Is this a 2-way multiple choice question? With questions in mind, the people of Country A then went to the live broadcast room of Richuan Gangband from Country C. Richuan Gangband from Country C remained unchanged. Just like the previous 2 times, he didn't get up to open the door. Instead, he shrank on the sofa, shivering. It has to be said that Richuan Gangband really took the term coward to the extreme. No matter how the neighbor knocked on the door, he just refused to open it. Just when the people of Country A thought Richuan Gangband would get away with it, an unexpected thing happened. It was seen that a shadow like a tentacle actually wriggled into the room with the neighbors knocking on the door. At this time, Richuan Gangband still knew nothing about the surrounding shadows because he was lying on the sofa with his butt up. He had no idea that the weird shadow was slowly approaching. As more and more shadows poured into the room, it was as if the room had been enchanted by the god of time. Everything was decaying at an accelerated pace. First, the white walls started to get moldy and mottled, and then all the furniture began to fade and rot. When Richuan Gangband noticed that something was wrong around him, it was a bit late. But just when the weird shadow attacked Richuan Gangband's talent for the last immunity was activated. A golden halo shone again, and the weirdness failed again. Failing to devour Richuan Gangband, the shadow transformed by the weirdness quickly retreated outside the door. In the blink of an eye, the room returned to normal. Looking at the disappearing halo, Richuan Gangban gasped for breath with a lingering fear. If it weren't for the protection of his talent just now, he would have been devoured by the weirdness. In the Strange Tale world, if one is only contaminated by the weirdness for the first time, there is still a glimmer of a chance to struggle. But if one is directly attacked by the weirdness, there is absolutely no chance to resist. He didn't die. He's really lucky. What exactly is the halo on Richuan Gangban? Is it his talent? I counted. So far, this kind of halo on Richuan Gangban has appeared 3 times. Undoubtedly, this should be his talent, and this talent can immunize him from the attacks of the weirdness. 3 immunities. This should be at least an A-level talent, right? Damn it, he's really lucky to draw such a good talent. Speaking of talent, so far, we still don't know what Su Xiao's talent is, do we? Come to think of it, really no one knows. It's said that even the national high-level officials don't know. Su Xiao has never played by the rules. Take this knocking on the door as an example. Why is he okay, even though he doesn't open the door? What do you mean? I mean, could these actions that we don't understand be Su Xiao's talent? Otherwise, how can we explain that he does the opposite but still remains intact? When you mention it like this, it seems to be true. Have you noticed that many things Su Xiao does are the opposite of others? Then, what exactly is Su Xiao's talent? We don't know yet. We have to wait and see. The second day in the Strange Tale world passed quietly in the discussions of the crowd. So far, there are still 8 selected people in the Strange Tale world. Su Xiao from Country A, John from Country B, Arthur from Country G, Adela from Country H, Adolf from Country I, Ivanov from Country J, Pasha from Country L, and Richuan Gangban from Country C. On the 3rd day, each selected person woke up to the alarm. When they looked at the note left by their mom again, they found that several new rules had been added. Rule 11. The cat will protect you, but it will also hurt you. Rule 13. Sometimes a strange woman will appear in the house. Try to communicate with her and trust her completely. Rule 15. You can go out, but you have to keep your eyes on your shoes. Rule 17. There's nothing on the balcony. No matter what sound you hear, don't be curious. These 8 brand new rules made the selected people feel tricky because the first 2 rules made them shiver. In the eyes of the selected people, the cat has always been a good character. But the appearance of Rule 11 and Rule 12 made them doubt the cat. The key is that, except for Su Xiao, the other selected people have slept with the cat for 2 days. If there's really something wrong with the cat, then they... Thinking of this, the selected people couldn't help but feel a chill down their spines. While the other selected people were in a daze looking at the new rules, Su Xiao got up and opened the locked bedroom door. Last night, Ugly was still left to roam freely in the living room. As soon as Su Xiao opened the door, he saw Ugly sitting on the sofa, with a pair of strange eyes staring straight at him. Su Xiao wasn't panicked at all. Suddenly, I want to eat cat meat today. I just don't know if it's delicious. Saying that, Su Xiao looked at Ugly, maybe noticing that Su Xiao's gaze was not friendly. Ugly let out a strange cry and scurried into the toilet. I wonder if anything terrible happened to Ugly last night. This cat is a trouble, but I can't do anything to it yet. Let's play it by ear. Maybe I really have to have a meal of cat meat? Just as Su Xiao was about to go to the kitchen to cook noodles, he noticed that there was an extra thing in the room. No, it should be that there was an extra thing on the balcony. Since the curtain on Su Xiao's balcony was always open, he could see all the furnishings on the balcony clearly. What the hell? Su Xiao walked towards the balcony curiously. There, in the middle of the balcony, a human-shaped doll was placed at some unknown time. The doll wasn't made of cloth. It was more like it was made of leather. Su Xiao didn't know what kind of leather it was, but it felt soft and smooth to the touch. Su Xiao picked up the doll. What is this? Did Ugly do this again? I remember there wasn't one yesterday. Holding the doll, Su Xiao suddenly felt a chill in his hand. He looked down. The hand holding the doll was already covered with bright red blood. The blood was like living blood, sucking worms and actually wanted to drill into his palm. Fortunately, Su Xiao was always protected by his talent. A faint golden light rose on his palm, and the golden light instantly melted the blood clean. When Su Xiao came to his senses, the blood on his palm had disappeared. But at this time, the doll's eyes suddenly moved, and its skin began to rot and fall off. Blood also began to gush out. The doll was instantly covered in blood. Yuck, disgusting thing. Su Xiao knew that this thing couldn't hurt him, so he didn't find it scary. It was just a bit of an appetite, killer early in the morning. Su Xiao grabbed the doll, walked quickly to the toilet door, and threw the doll in. After a while, the sound of Ugly jumping around came from the toilet.